become like me? What? Is Paul trying to start a cult or something? Check it out as we continue our verse-by-verse study in Galatians. We are in Galatians chapter 4, verse 12 today, which says, "Brethren, I urge you to become like me, for I became like you. You have not injured me at all." So, was Paul saying that he was perfect? Of course not. What Paul was getting at, he wanted others to join him, to be like him, specifically freedom. He wanted them to be free like him. Paul used to be a slave to the law. He is now calling them out. He said, you know what, guys? I used to be just like you. I was there. But he's calling them out to freedom in Christ. To freedom to be able to say no to sin. Freedom to be able to say yes to Christ. Freedom to be able to live for him. Freedom to say his blood was enough to cover over every sin I've ever done, I am doing, or am ever going to do in the future. It's all Jesus. Freedom in Christ. Now, he's saying, hey, brethren, I urge you to become like me, for I became like you. The word became kind of gives us this past tense thing, but it was actually added. It's in italics. If you didn't know, when you're studying the Bible, if there's a word that's all in italics, that means it was added by the translators to try to bring clarity. Sometimes it's awesome, sometimes it kind of gives us a false sense. In this case, the became gives us a false sense, like I became past tense, but what he's saying is, I am. God has made me be able to see you on an equal level. God has done a work in my life to prepare me for this. And my question for you is, has God done things? Well, it's not so much a question, it's a statement. God has done things in your life and in my life that are unique. Your life is not identical to mine, and it shouldn't be, because God has a specific group of people for you to minister to, which is different than he has for me. And there's similarities we can all share about the gospel, but he has prepared you specifically with how you grew up, with where you've worked, with your family, with your health, with your life, your experiences. God has prepared you because he's prepared people for you to speak into their life specifically for. And this is what Paul is talking about. God had prepared him specifically to talk into these people's lives. And I guess the question I have for you, who is God preparing you for? Have you been thankful? Thankful for the things? Sometimes they felt good, sometimes they felt bad, sometimes they hurt. Are you still thankful? God, you're doing this, you're allowing this to happen, and you're going to use it to prepare me for the future. We should be excited. When the bad things happen, when the good things happen, God is using that to prepare us. Then he goes on to say, you have not injured me at all. He was saying, because some of what Paul says is really hard, really harsh. Paul was not saying this out of anger. He was saying this out of love. Truly, this is the love of a father for a son. This is the love of, parents to their kids. This is who Paul was begging. And do you have children that maybe are not in the right place? This is what Paul is doing. He's saying, please, please, please listen to me. Listen to this freedom that I have, that you can have through Christ. Maybe freedom you once had, but you've fallen back. He's begging you, please. I just want to encourage you, beg with people to get right with God. Beg in prayer. Just help people. That should be our heart for those who are lost. I sure love you guys.